You've heard of a morning routine, right? If you're a lucid dreamer, it's actually more important that you have a night routine. Just in the way that how you prepare your morning sets you up for a successful day, the way that you prepare for and enter into sleep has a massive impact on whether you will or will not get lucid that night. This is my 5-step night routine that I use to get lucid. This is what I've fine-tuned over my last 7-8 years of practice. So feel free to take it, try it, tweak it, and of course, feel free to add any comments of what you would add to this process below. Step 1 of 5 is to close down your day. This means to close any open loops that are running. Emails, text messages. You do not want to bring your to-do list to bed. That's going to be a lucidity killer. Best way to do this, I found, is to try turn your phone off a couple of hours before you go to sleep. That means you wrap everything up. And then for the things that are kind of hovering in your mind, any kind of, I've got to do this tomorrow, worries that you have, just write them down on a piece of paper. By putting them out of your mind, it's like it doesn't have to carry in its kind of memory storage anymore. And you know tomorrow morning, you've got everything you need that you got to get on with. So pack down your day in a way that allows you to start working with a fresh slate. Step 2 of the routine is slightly interesting. It's a bit weird, but it's actually become one of the most essential aspects of my routine. But just quickly, if you are a dedicated dreamer like me, make sure you subscribe so we can stay in touch. So with step 2, it's actually about clearing the mind by using the body. What I found was that I kind of carried a bit of jittery tension. It's hard for me to really settle my system and be primed for lucidity. So some great ways to do this. I found, for me personally, I use Qigong shaking. You just stand up and just, literally shake it out, bounce up and down your heels, and you can let go with a sound, like a sighing sound, like ah. There's actually a cool study on sighing. Andrew Huberman, I think it was at Stanford, they did a study showing that cyclical sighing was actually the most effective type of relaxation breathing technique of all the ones they tested. So just simply going does something to the system. So for me, Qigong shakes and sighing, but you could do stretching or yoga or Tai Chi, anything that kind of moves the body. The idea here is you want to start moving out any collected stress or tension by gently and intentionally moving the body. Step number 3 is to reconnect the mind to what matters. So for me, this is contemplation, meditation, it could be prayer, it could be mantra. But at this point, having a little bit of a practice where you sit quietly somewhere and tag into what's important. This is a great chance to work with your lucid dreaming manifesto. Why are you doing this? It's a great chance to review your lucid dreaming missions. What do you want to do tonight? So a period of quiet contemplation, doesn't have to be more than 2 to 3 minutes, that just kind of reconnects the mind to what matters to you and why you're doing this practice in the first place. I'm often surprised when I ask people, why do you lucid dream? Very few people have a well thought through answer. It's one of the first exercises I get my clients to do. And if you're looking for more personalized support, I do offer one-to-one training. So whenever you feel ready to take the next accelerated step in your practice, please feel free to apply in the links below. So now you've done the first 3 steps, you've closed your day, you've cleared the mind using the body, you've reconnected the mind to what matters. Now it's time to focus the mind in step 4. And focusing the mind is where we start to use our lucidity induction phrases. So I finish the rest of it, I climb back into bed, and this is where I start working with, whatever lucidity induction phrase I have. If you're working on recalling and remembering your dreams, it might be something like, tonight I remember my dreams. If you're working on getting lucid, it might be something like, I know I am dreaming as I am dreaming. I know I am dreaming as I am dreaming. If you have a specific dream mission, like for instance, if you're wanting to work with, meeting your inner child, you might say something like, tonight I meet my inner child. The key with these sort of lucidity induction phrases is they should feel important to you. When you're saying them, you want it to kind of saturate your physical body. You want to saturate your mind because you want this momentum to carry through the night and get you lucid. Now, when you're focusing the mind, it tends to have a quality of intensity to it, right? You're like turning up the fire. So I've noticed, if you do this too much, sometimes you can kind of keep yourself up. So the trick is to do it just long enough that you feel that degree of like, okay, good, it's really in my system. And then you're going to move on to step 5, which is to relax and release. This is where you're going to really just let go and allow your body and mind to fall asleep. If you're someone who struggles to fall asleep, I really recommend doing the 4, 7, 8 breathing. It's like breathing in for 4 seconds, holding for 7 seconds, breathing out for 8 seconds. That can really help kind of drop you into sleep. But if you follow that arc of really clearing the day out, reconnecting the mind, refocusing the mind, and then like relaxing and letting go, that's a beautiful entryway into sleep, and it's much more likely to set you up for lasting lucidity. I'm curious if you have another step that you add to your night routine. If so, please share it below. I'm always adapting my practice, and I love hearing what other people are doing out there.